Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you again. Today, I want to get into a pair that I have been really pumped about. There's been a lot of confusion as to when these are going to drop, if it's going to be this year, next year. I have no idea when they're coming, but what I know is they were affordable enough and I wanted them bad enough that I just went ahead and ordered them from GOAT. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Reimagined Jordan 1 High Black Toes. So on my last review of the Howard University Jordan 1 Lows, I dropped a hint. I made a comment that I got a pair from GOAT early, and I suggested that people guess down the comments. I think I saw 3 or 4 people that guessed, and 3 or 4 people got it right. I guess either I'm super predictable or I just gave you way too many hints. I love doing these Sunday morning reviews, and today is going to be a banger. This is the Jordan 1 High Reimagined Black Toe. I have no idea what is going on with this release. I've heard different opinions of why Nike and Jordan Brand may have pushed this one back. I don't know what's true and what isn't, but what I do know is I really wanted these. I mean, I wanted these bad. I heard some people complain about not having the Wings logo on the side, and they don't really like that it says Air Jordan on the side, but I think that's cool. Obviously, I don't have any Jordan 1s that do that. I love the inspiration. I think this is one of those releases from the Reimagined series that are up there with the Chicago's. The packaging, much like the Reimagined Chicago's, is really cool. I freaking love this. Michael Jordan, when he's got hair in this iconic picture, you can see the Wings logo on his shirt, but the Jordans that he has around his neck have that Air Jordan, and it's kind of hard to see. The picture's kind of fuzzy. The shoes in this picture are what Jordan Brand got the inspiration for this Reimagined Jordan 1 High, and I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. I just think this is cool. It tells a story. It takes us back to that part of history, and I'm really excited to have these. I think my offer on GOAT was accepted for around $210 US plus fees. I probably have about 230 into them. I'm not sure how much they'll be when they release, maybe 180, but I could also see them jacking up the price because it's a special release, but we'll see what they do. I was really looking forward to getting these, so when I heard that they were pushed back and there was no definitive drop date, I just knew that since they were so affordable, there was no reason for me not to grab them. I hate paying more than what I have to for a pair of shoes, but for a pair that I wanted this bad and we just don't know when it's coming and that sort of thing, it was worth it to me just to secure them early. But anyhow, as I already said, it's got this picture on the lid, and then even the rest of the box kind of carries on to the outside of the picture. You can see it just kind of wraps down to the side, but it's very cool looking. The tag reads Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG. The colors are white, black, varsity red, and sail. I went with a size 10 in this pair. On Jordan 1 Highs, I can go with a 10 or a 10.5, but this was just cheaper. I think it was like 20 bucks cheaper for the size 10 as opposed to the 10.5, so I just went with that. Looking underneath the lid, it says Special Attention M Jordan, and then we have that Wings logo underneath. And then on the paper within the box, we have a combination of really old photos from around that era. This is the cityscape that we see behind the Jumpman logo. There's a poster, or maybe it was one of those cards that used to come with shoes. But this is where we get that Jumpman logo from. Typically, he's like in front of this cityscape. Then we've got the Air Jordan written kind of like on a napkin there below that. Then we also have some sketches of what looks to be the beginnings of the Wings logo. And we also see more pictures. This is like another angle of that Jordan picture like we saw on the lid. You can see he's got all those Jordan 1s draped over his shoulder there. I always love seeing Michael Jordan with hair because it left pretty quick. So I'm a big fan I'm a big fan of the packaging. I just love that it tells that story, and it doesn't really leave you guessing whenever you get to the shoes. You can see the shoes here on the lid of the box, and you know what that represents as far as the Reimagined story and that sort of thing. But now, is it quite as good as the Chicago Jordan 1 packaging? I think it's up there. I think out of all the Reimagined series, I think this one gives the Chicago Jordan 1 Reimagined the best competition. And real quick, I'm sure by now everybody's familiar, but just in case you're not, this is the Chicago Jordan 1 High Reimagined. I actually have two pairs of these. This is my dead stock one, but they mismatched the bottom of the box and the lid. I think this is supposed to be from like an AJKO or something like that, but it's a mismatched lid, and that supports the story for this pair of it's a pair of Jordan 1 High Chicagos that was kind of lost in a storage room and just rediscovered, but they're really old. But you see a couple of little sales stickers on there, and I thought that was a really cool touch. And then whenever you get into this box, we can see that we've got all these old advertisements. It looks like it's clippings from an old newspaper or something, but again, it's from that era. It looks like they've even got that same picture that we see on the lid of this black toe pair as well. I know this is a little touch, but this is probably my favorite part of the packaging of the Chicago Jordan 1 High Reimagined. I just thought this was so cool. It looks like it's a handwritten receipt from that era, and it's got all kinds of little Easter eggs on it. It says Sandy Bros Sports Department, and basically the whole thing has like meaning behind it. So there's all kinds of Easter eggs. I'm not going to get into them all right here, but I just love this receipt that came with the Reimagined Chicagos. And here's a quick look at those beauties. Like I said, this was meant to be a pair that just got rediscovered after like 30 years in the back of a storage room. So when they made this shoe, they created it to look like it has been aged. Not like it's been worn, but just like it's been aged. So you can see all that crackling up there around the collar of the shoe. And then even that sail leather or the white leather for the base, that all has crackling on it as well. These look like a pair that are 30 years old but never worn, but they just got discovered. So they do have signs of aging and everything on it. Whereas these black toes look like a brand new pair of shoes, but they're just made to look exactly like that picture, that advertisement of Michael Jordan holding the pair that actually says Air Jordan, instead of having that Wings logo on the top. So as far as packaging goes, I do probably still prefer the packaging on the Chicago Jordan 1 High, but these aren't far behind it. These aren't far behind it at all. Overall, I do prefer this shoe. I'm not even going to lie. I'm just going to get that out of the way. These were hard to get and super expensive, and these are actually attainable right now. You get a very similar style. They both look really good, and the Jordan 1 High is still one of my favorite retro Jordan silhouettes. It's probably the Jordan retro that I wear the most. I feel like they go with my style. I feel like I don't have to put any effort into them, and I just always go back to them whenever I'm getting dressed to go out. But now that we got that little comparison out of the way, let's get into these bad boys. They're not crazy soft, like it's not the softest leather that you've felt, but it's comparable to good leather that we got on like a pair of 85s, like what I have on my feet or something. It just feels a little bit heavier, but I think the more that you wear these and break them in, I think you'll really appreciate that you have that thicker, heavier leather on here. I love the materials. I love the materials. I love the style. And just straight out of the box, I think these are great. I really like having the Jordan 1 High that has that Air Jordan up on there. And I know a lot of people think that looks stupid. And if I had to pick what Air Jordan 1s would have, I would agree that the Wings logo does look better. But because I don't have any Jordans that have this, and because this references that old picture from 1985, I love this. I think this is awesome. And who knows if we'll ever see a Jordan 1 High with this Air Jordan font on it again. So yeah, I'm all for it. I think these are great. A lot of times people say that they want something different, and then you give them something different and they're like, oh, that's garbage, I want the Wings logo back. So you can't please everybody all the time. I think these are great, and I'm very pumped to have them in my collection. Looking at the outsole, we can see this nice varsity red color, pivot point in the front, Nike branding at the midfoot. Really nothing out of the ordinary there. I will say this outsole looks brand new. And the Chicago Reimagined here on the top is made to look a little bit faded, just a little bit aged. So on the bottom here is the black toe. You can tell it's bright, looks like a new shoe. This one looks like one that's got some age on it. Coming up to the midsole, we can see that it's a sail color, and I love that. I think the sail looks really nice. It's got sail stitching in there, and it's easy to see that there's a tint to this when you look at it beside that bright white that we see on the side panel. QC on the shoe looks pretty good. There is a couple little areas that you can see some glue. Might be able to see that on camera, might not, but there's glue just above the midsole right here if the light catches it just right. That doesn't matter to me. I still think QC is fine on these. I love that shape. Look at the shape on here. And then there on the back, that hourglass, man, forget about it. These things are so beautiful. I love them. As we come to the upper of the shoe on the mudguard, going up the eye stays, around the collar, and also for our swoosh, we have a very smooth black leather. And again, that's kind of a thick cut. It doesn't feel super soft, but it feels like a material that'll hold up and last for a while. And as I already said, I think these things will age beautifully. The more you wear them, the more you break them in, I think they'll just look phenomenal. So I like this black leather, even though it's not super soft or anything. I think it's a great material. On the heel, we have a red overlay in another nice, thick, smooth leather. And up here by the collar, of course, we have another red overlay. There we see the Air Jordan in black. And on the inside of the left shoe, I don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera or not, but I think it says "My Best, Michael Jordan." Yeah, it says "My Very Best, Michael Jordan," and it's like handwritten. It looks like his signature. I actually ordered one of those little UV flashlights, so whenever I get that, maybe I'll make a short or something just to show you a little bit better, but it's on there. Sorry, it's probably kind of hard to see right now. Then for the base leather, we just have this nice white. Again, it feels like it's a pretty thick cut, but whenever you press on it, you can see some little ripples and everything. This has a little bit more texture than what the overlays do, but overall, it's still pretty smooth. I think as you wear these, you'll get nice little waves in them and everything. And then sometimes even on the side, you can see little hints of where they might get a little bit wavy. I actually like that. I think leather like this looks better after it's been worn a couple of times, and they just kind of start to mold and customize to your foot as you move around in them. But I really like this white leather. There's not a whole lot of texture on it, but I think it is a very nice material. For our tongue, it's just a standard black tongue, really nothing out of the ordinary there. It's got black piping going along the edges of it, and at the top it's got a black tag with some red Nike Air branding. Much like the Chicago's came, this comes with two different sets of laces through the bottom two eyelets. We've got a black flat lace and a red flat lace. I'm going to go with black laces. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm just rocking these with the black. I also love that we have a black tongue. I have never had a black toe Jordan 1 high. I have had a black toe Jordan 1 mid, and I really love those. I pretty much wore those into the ground. I think they had a black tongue on them as well, but I've seen the highs come with a white or kind of like a sail colored tongue. I really prefer the black tongue on here, so I'm glad that that's what they gave us this time. For our sock liner, we just got a standard black color. Really, there's nothing out of the ordinary there. And then our insole is white, and it's got some black Nike Air branding down on it. All right, so like I said, if I was to grade these up against the Chicago Jordan 1 High Reimagined, I would probably give the Chicago's a 10 out of 10, and I would probably give these about a 9.5 out of 10. I am that much of a fan of these. I think they're beautiful. I love that I was able to grab a pair for a reasonable price. I think since Christmas and holidays are coming up, this might be a pair to put on your list, and I hope they're still attainable. I hope they're still reasonably priced through Christmas, even though I don't think the main drop is going to be until 2025. I would love to know what the exact reason for it is. I've heard that people say that Nike and the Jordan brand just want to drive up hype, and maybe that's the case. I don't know, but I just feel like this pair probably would sell out even if it dropped now, but maybe my opinion is a little bit distorted just due to the fact that I like these so much. So let me know what you think. If they drop these in November, do you all think they'd sell out, or do you think the Jordan brand is making a good move by postponing these? Let me know your opinion. I'd seriously be interested in hearing it and just having a conversation with you all about it. But anyhow, I appreciate you all watching tremendously. I think these are awesome. Let me know what you all think, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm out.